sacred meditation. So the first step is for you to find a very powerful, positive statement that means something to you and memorize it. And for example, the example that we use in the workbook is a quote from Thucydides that I just love. It says, "Of all manifestations of power, restraint impresses men the most." It's a positive statement. And so how the meditation is really simple. And I also love this statement that by small and simple means, great things can be brought to pass, that you can change your life by practicing small and simple things. And sometimes people go, well, wait, this isn't this big, huge thing. How can this possibly make a difference in my life? I can promise you that if you practice this form of meditation that I'm going to teach you consistently, that your life will get better. I'm not saying it'll be perfect, but it will get better, and it will awaken this part of the brain to manage more what's going on. This form of meditation will help you recognize what it has been doing all along. And this is how it goes. So you memorize your passage, and you can memorize this statement: "Of all manifestations of power, restraint impresses men the most." But all you do is set a period of time. Say maybe you start with 2 minutes, and that will seem like a million years when you just start doing it. And then you can go up to 5 and 10 and so forth, and even up to 15 minutes doing it. All one does in this meditation is slowly and deliberately rehearse and repeat the words to the meditation, and then watch what the mind does. And so you just get in a comfortable position. You can get in a lotus position if you would like to, if that works for you. For many, that's uncomfortable. But you just need to find a place where you're going to be uninterrupted for the specified period of time. So if I were meditating on this verse by Thucydides, this is what I'd do. Of all manifestations of power, restraint impresses men the most. Of all manifestations of power, restraint impresses men the most. Of all and then a thought will come in my mind, says, how long have you been doing this? I will notice the thought, not get frustrated with it, let it be. This is where practicing surrender. Manifestations of power. Oh, thirsty. You need to go get a drink of water. Manifestations of power, restraint. What's on TV tonight? Manifestations of power. What do you got to do tomorrow? Manifestations of power, restraint impresses men the most. Of all manifestations. And so that's all you do in this form of meditation. And as you are doing it, remember that statement from Dr. Jeffrey Schwartz that when we're practicing even this mindful visualization like we are with these words, the brain is actually changing. And so you're strengthening this part of your brain right here. And what the limbic system is constantly, it's just throwing up different thoughts, memories, and all this and crazy things that you might be triggered from the environment. And all you do is gently bring your mind back on task over and over again. And you can change up your meditation from day to day, learn to memorize a lot of positive things, have a lot of positive statements. And the more you do this over and over again, you see what happens is that you're sending information down to the hippocampus and the limbic system, which is mainly involved in memory, and you're starting to rewrite the script in your brain. We use this term called neuroplasticity, meaning your brain is always changing. They used to think years ago, neurologists, psychologists used to think that by the time you're 30 years old, your brain is stuck. It's frozen. You are set, and that's what you've got. We now know that that's absolutely not true. Our brains are living, breathing organisms, and they're constantly changing moment by moment, and we have a tremendous impact on how our brains develop with this mindfulness issue that we're talking about. So I would encourage you to, even tonight, begin this practice. And this is something that you can use at all times, especially at night. If you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't go back to sleep, instead of tossing and turning, accept the reality that your laying there and you can't sleep. Many struggle with sleep disorders associated with addiction and trauma, that their sleep is cycles are goofed up. And so you surrender to that, you let it be, because have you ever forced yourself to go to sleep when you feel like you can't sleep? That doesn't work. Again, you're fighting a part of you that you can't fight. So sit there and go, well, if I'm going to be awake here, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to feel the bed, I'm going to get grounded, and I'm going to meditate. I'm going to gently and slowly rehearse some things in my mind and strengthen this part of the brain. What better time to do it than sitting there being frustrated and thinking that you need to go to sleep? So I'd encourage you to start looking at some verses that speak to you. Again, this is a very personal thing, but make sure that they're positive and uplifting, not that they're negative. I've had some individuals tell me in the past that they come in and they says, well, I practiced my meditation, but I slipped up this past week. And I go, well, what are you meditating on? And then they will tell me the most negative, hopeless little verse that is constantly sending that message to their mind. So no. So, the greatest power of all is restraint impresses men the most. And so, what are the 5 key strategies? So you can just start practicing those things in your mind. So I'd encourage you to get started and use this practice consistently the rest of your life. And as all of these things we're talking about, the speed at which you'll get better and you'll start to see results in your own personal life are directly related to the consistent behaviors, the actions that you are following through with what I'm asking you to do. So with the meditation, I would encourage you to at least practice it daily and sometimes multiple times a day. And many choose to use as their meditation verse their future vision statement that I'm going to introduce you to in our next segment. So exercise 2 in the mindfulness section in the workbook is 10 questions that you can ask yourself at any time that you feel like you need to get grounded. And here are the 10 questions. Number 1, where am I right now? And be very precise and state it verbally. 2, what time, day, and date is it? And state it verbally. There's a purpose in stating these things verbally, even though it might seem a little silly. It really helps you get grounded, and they're called yes sets, because when you're saying it, your brain's going, yes, that's true, and it's helping you get grounded. 3, what am I doing right now? State it verbally, like I'm sitting in a chair, I'm recording a video, I'm going over the 10 questions, things like that. Number 4, what am I feeling in my body right now? State it verbally, exactly where you're feeling a body sensation. And again, this helps you get more grounded in feeling your body. 5, what emotion am I feeling right now? But what word or words would you use to describe your feelings? Number 6, state the purpose you are pursuing right now. For example, I'm on my way home from work, I'm on my way to the store, or I'm going on a project. State it verbally. 7, what action can you take right now that would benefit another person? So this helps you get outside of yourself a little bit. Number 8, what can this precise moment teach me? State it verbally. Number 9, look for and notice something the color orange and state it verbally. If you want to choose another color, choose another color. Look for and notice a bird in flight. Keep this thought in your awareness until you see a bird sometime today. So those are the 10 questions that can help you get grounded at any time that you feel that might help you to reset and do whatever it is that you were doing before.